seriousness are a bit lower than what you said, but they're up there. In Medicare, when I started in the program in 2004, we had about 10% of our payments that we thought were inappropriate, either fraud or abuse, or it could be just very poorly documented care, but just stuff that looks like on paper didn't add up, didn't look remotely like the right treatments for a patient. And there are steps that you can take through better data systems as we're getting towards more electronic health care and better monitoring systems. By Medicare, one of the problems in government-run programs like Medicare is we have, I think, too little money spent on administration. Our administrative costs are about 3%, and that's too low because we don't have enough people going back and checking on inappropriate billing, and so we do see a lot of these potentially fraudulent services. So there are steps that you can take to try to reduce fraud incrementally, but it does require some kind of better investment in better data systems, better monitoring, or going to stronger penalties. A lot of the problem in healthcare, though, and where the number I think is 30% or higher, is in the use of services that are at best questionable and probably don't have any benefit for the patient. They're not out and out fraud, but these are areas where we don't know that a treatment works or not, but why not go ahead and try it, or where lab tests are ordered or imaging is done that may not be very harmful or very risky in itself, though every medical procedure carries some risk, and maybe it tells you a little bit more information, but it's probably not really worth anything. A lot of that goes on, and that's, I think, a direct consequence of the way that the financial payment systems work in healthcare. Again, when you pay based on volume and intensity, that's what you're going to get. So a lot of variations and a lot of potentially inappropriate care. And the steps that I was talking about earlier to try to do a better job of measuring quality, measuring the impact on care, and then paying based on that, I think could indirectly help significantly with fraud and then this much bigger problem of potentially wasteful or inappropriate services. Okay.
I'm interested in your comments about mental health services, particularly as they apply to drug and alcohol problems, because it seems like there's a big bang for the buck in prevention there and in treatment there as far as cost to society. Yeah. And outcome analysis is more difficult. Access is really problematic. Quality assessment is really difficult in the current system, and interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, those points are all true. Everything I said about the importance of measuring outcomes and measuring costs, and I said that there are challenges along the way, but we're making real progress. Well, in these kinds of mental health services outcomes, those problems are even bigger, and they go. A lot of these cost savings occur not in our healthcare system, but in other parts of society. Our government assistance costs, our prison systems, and so forth, and we're not even close to being able to measure those